Hey guys, a warm welcome to our next episode, Real Talk with Raman. Youngster, young age. Not many people have dream of becoming successful, dream of making an impression in the world, and dream of telling people that I do exist. But there are few youngsters who have actually gone out of the way, worked hard, and made sure they have not only created success for themselves, but gave a vision and power to others to become successful as well. So in today's episode, I am going to introduce to all of you such a youngster. She has really done a commendable job, and she has made herself a brand in the real estate industry. Not only that, she's encouraging and helping many other youngsters, especially the girls, and she's becoming a synonymous of girl power in the industry. So I would like to welcome you, Lashika, on Real Talk with Raman. How are you today?
I'm very good, Mr. Raman. Thank you so much, first of all, for such nice words. I would say you missed on one point, which is the right guidance and motivation that I keep getting from you. So whatever I'm doing today, where am I today, a big credit goes out to the mentorship, the leadership that I'm nurturing under.
Almost 4 or 5 years in the real estate industry, 1,000 transactions you have participated, you are managing a big team and creating success not only for yourself, but for others. How do you feel about it?
It's been, I would say, very interesting, very challenging 4 or 5 years of my life, where every day there was something new, whether we talk about clients, whether I talk about my own team members or all the realtors that we're working with in SafeMax. But it's been interesting. I like it. Every day there's something new. I've been with clients who have very easy deposit payment available, a lot of money with them. They can buy in downtown Toronto. On the other side, I've also had clients who are just starting their life and they barely have any savings. So when you're working with those type of clients, somehow you just feel connected, and you have that extra burden, extra responsibility on your shoulder because they're talking about their life saving.
Yep.
So it does get overwhelming, it does get emotional at times. So it's been a journey with a lot of mixed emotions.
Right. So when it comes to pre-construction and Lashika, that is becoming synonymous. Is that right?
Well, yes, I can say that. Sometimes when we're just joking about it, say I sleep pre-construction, I eat pre-construction. So yes, when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about which builder do I have to, go to tomorrow, which builder I have to knock the doors and get something for the team. In the morning, I'm struggling the same thing with clients. Okay, no, not this project, that project. So it's fun. It's fun. So pre-construction for me is fun.
Good.
Yes.
What is this pre-construction actually about?
Okay, so
because many viewers, they are a little confused, or they want to know a little bit more about what exactly is this pre-construction.
Okay. So whether we call it pre-construction or sometimes we say new developments, it's something that you're buying or you're investing in when you actually don't see the actual property. You're getting into it when there's just empty land.
Right.
So you're using the advantage of time. That's how I look at what is pre-construction. Is something I'm putting my money in, which will be ready in 4 to 5 years of timeline. There's just an empty piece of land. We look at the drawings, we book something. But the major advantage, or why pre-construction, is to save that money, is to get into that appreciation that you will get when you actually get keys to your house. So
that's right.
So buying something just on an empty piece of land is what is pre-construction.
Great. So Lashika, what are the various kind of pre-constructions available in the market?
So when we talk about pre-construction, there is every possible, I would say, product out there. Whether we talk about high-rise, in which we talk about condos, we talk about low-rise or townhouses, semi-detached, detached, or even if you want to invest in commercial, you want to buy something in a plaza, you can still go for a pre-construction option. So there are all the possibilities out there.
So it's all invited. So whatever is resale was a pre-construction one day.
Once, yes. Somebody who bought it a few years ago must have bought it when it was getting built.
Right.
Today it's resale, but yes. Once upon a time, it was pre-construction.
Right. Lashika, let's say I'm a first-time investor or I'm a first-time buyer. Why I should go for the pre-construction? What are the advantages of going to the pre-construction?
So the biggest advantage, as I was saying, is the time factor.
Okay.
when it's a first-time home buyer, in most of the cases, whenever you're buying your home, you're buying your house, there are a lot of dreams attached to it. You have a vision in mind. That's how I want it to be. Do I want it 2-story, 3 stories? This is how I want to decorate it. So a first-time home buyer, if you don't have a lot of money saved up already, sometimes I see people sacrificing on that dreams, like, no, I really wanted something with backyard. But you know what, let me just get something, which is on the ground level and in the basement maybe.
Right.
But with pre-construction, I feel you don't have to do that, because you don't have to give all that deposit in the first year or right away in 2-3 months itself. You get a timeline of about 2 years, 3 years, where you can actually slowly put your down payment, and you can book a house of your dreams. So if I want to buy, let's say, a 3-bedroom condo today, I don't have to come up with 100,000 right away. I need 20,000-30,000 this year, 20,000 next year, 20,000 year after. So that way, even if I'm a first-time home buyer, it's an easy payment plan for me. So that's, I think, is the biggest advantage. The next advantage, I would say, is for somebody who's, let's say, not a first-time home buyer. They've been here, they have a lot of money saved up, now they want a dream home, but they want it to be customized based on their personal needs, their personal dreams, their choices. You have that option fully. You start to end, you choose what kind of layout do you want. Do you want the kitchen on the left or on the right? How big of a space do you want? Do you want 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, or if you want to build a customized, let's say, a dresser or like a media room in your house? You have all those options from the beginning. So you kind of design your own house in pre-construction.
So you get a lot of, like, I would say, liberty, especially as far as the down payment is concerned. So it goes in the parts. And then you can actually put up your own taste to it.
You can decide the color scheme, the features and finishes you want, everything, because it's just an empty piece of land when we begin. Then you have an option of choosing and putting everything as per your taste.
That's quite interesting. Now, what are the major things which I have to be thoughtful about, which I have to be careful about when I'm buying any pre-construction unit? So is there any suggestion, any advice, any pointers which you would like to tell our viewers which they should be careful about?
Yes. Now let's divide this into 2 parts, whether somebody is buying this as an investment property or whether somebody is buying it for their end use.
I see.
So if we talk about investors, there are 3-4 key factors, key points, which I always say to be careful of. When you go to a builder, always make sure you know which builder you're working with. You have checked their reputation. Again, I don't see somebody has a bad intention to begin with. No builder is out there to just sell and not build. But sometimes there are situations, there are circumstances. So we as an investor, we just want to make sure that we know who we are working with. They have built in the past, they have completed their projects in the time. If you're really particular about, you have plans that you're investing in 2021, you want to have certain money by 2023, then you want to make sure you're working with somebody who follow the same timeline. The next thing, let's say you went ahead, you booked something, now you have your agreement in hand, you always have your 10 days cooling off period. So use that to your advantage. That is there, so you can actually get your agreement reviewed by the lawyer. Your lawyer will touch base on few very important points. The first one is always the assignment. Whether it's free or not, you should always have an assignment clause. Even if the builder is charging something, there still should be an assignment clause. So if you want to use it to your advantage, you can actually sell it before the actual closing. If it is free, it's a bonus.
It's a bonus, right? So, Lashika, you talked about the assignment. I know in high-rise, majority of the time, getting the assignments is easy, and most of the builders, they actually encourage that assignment. But low-rises, when it comes to buying a house, when it comes to buying a semi-detached or detached, I think then it becomes a little challenge, because many times builders, they don't allow the assignments.
It's getting changed. There used to be a time when, yes, builders were not really okay with the idea, because how the houses are built, it's not like a high-rise building that the whole building is being built together at the same time. Houses are being built as they sell them, right? So the builder does not want, when he sold one house, he's still selling 4 other houses in the same area, and somebody else also comes in the market and gives him a competition and starts selling it on assignment at that time. But now the concept is being changed. Even builders are not just building 5-10 houses, they're actually taking a huge piece of land. It's called master planned community. So they're getting used to this idea that they're giving that option. Again, I don't see every time in low rise that the assignment is free. There is a little bit of charge.
Yeah.
I think they do that so that not too many people
Yeah.
do assignment.
Yeah.
But again, it's getting more popularized, so it's becoming more and more easy.
Perfect, perfect.
So the next thing was after assignment, I would say will be the right to lease during occupancy.
Okay.
This is again from investment point of view.
Right.
Many times I think this particular topic or this particular incentive given by the builder is just ignored. People don't really care about it.
Right.
But if you're an investor and if you've been doing it for a while, you would know the importance of right to lease during occupancy. There is actually a term occupancy and then there is actually final closing.
Right.
So if you are not allowed to lease out your property after occupancy, then you will be paying the fees from your own pocket.
Okay, so you talked about there's an occupancy,
Yeah.
which is called, I think, interim occupancy,
Yeah.
and then there's a final closing. So how does that work, and how much is the gap between both of these, and how the mortgage thing works at that time?
Okay. So occupancy is basically when the builder has built the let's say a 70-story condo building.
Right.
They've given you the key. They've started, let's say they started from the bottom and they started giving the occupancies. You have the key. You can actually move in if you want to. And then probably 2 to 3 months later, you're going to actually have the final closing when you go to the lawyer, you sign the paper, the transfer actually happened from builder's name to your name. That's
Right.
what is final closing.
Right.
Usually the gap is around 2 to 3 months. At the max, what I've seen when there are some complications are involved, 6 months,
Right.
but not later than that. And mortgage at that time, actually, you haven't really done the mortgage yet because the final closing didn't happen.
Right.
But you will actually be paying occupancy fee to the builder,
Okay.
just like you pay mortgage fee to the bank.
Okay.
So at that time, if you, let's say it's an investment property, you didn't have right to lease it after the occupancy.
Right.
Now there is a 4-month gap. So for those 4 months, you are paying that occupancy fee from your pocket because you were not able to rent out your investment property.
Right.
So that 4 to 6 month timeline, that expense that goes from your pocket, it's almost equal to a 6-month mortgage. So you want to make sure the builder is allowing you to lease it as soon as they give you the key. So from day one, your investment is fruitful and not giving you stress for the initial 6 months.
Right. Hey, Lashika, I was thinking you were going to give me a chance to say something, but you are not. It
Well,
seems like you have a lot of...
See, you said pre-construction. I told you, I sleep, I eat. It's something that okay. I'm gonna talk less.
No, definitely. And it's so good to get some knowledge and understanding, and especially to our viewers, because these are the technical jargons which sometimes they miss, right? And they don't know. Yeah. And many times what happens, the realtor they are dealing with, even they don't know about it. Let's talk about the HST factor, right?
Yeah.
Many times people, they don't know how HST is going to work in the pre-construction. Yeah. Especially if I talk about when you buy something for your own investment, people don't know that you have to pay HST onto it because there's almost $24,000 credit which happens in Ontario, and builder gets in writing from you that those $24,000, if that property is an investment property, is going to go back to the builder. Because that is the credit which they have already considered in the purchase price. They need to get that credit back. If it's an end user, in that particular case, the credit gets to the builder from the government.
Yeah.
Right? So, but when they have put up the price for the unit, so they have put that into perspective. They have put that into their calculation.
Yes.
Now, as an investor, when you are paying that HST, you can actually get it back.
Yeah.
If you are renting the property to a long-term tenant, and mostly it is for 1 year, though there's no specification of the time period, but normally we suggest it's a 1-year lease, and then you apply to the CRA to get that HST refund back.
Yes.
So that is also another important aspect. And I know there are so many other technical parts which happen when you are selling it on the assignment, then how the capital gain works, how the HST works. Of course, it's always good to have an advice from either an accountant who deals it on daily basis, and as well as from the lawyer.
I always say that before, let's say you've done your research, you've understood where your peace of mind is. For me, it's like you invest in Toronto, you invest in Mississauga, you invest in Vaughan, you will make money. At the end of the day, it depends where your comfort lies.
Right.
So let's say you've done that research. I always say discuss with your accountant onto what name do you want to book the investment property on. Sometimes, husband, wife both want to go. You want to add your kid's name, your parents' name. If you have a company, you have opened up a real estate corporation or something of that sort, which your accountant can definitely give you a best advice on, because that's their field.
Of course.
So they can guide you accordingly how you can work that thing around. And you touched on a very good point, the HST. Most of the time, I've heard even agents are not familiar with this, that the prices, the actual purchase price which the builder is telling you does include the 13% HST in it, but there is still another portion of HST which you have to take care of at the time of closing. That's where the rebate portion comes in. So yes, that's something technical which is very important. Other than that, Mr. Raman, there's one more factor, which is the development charges.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is very important. Now, this one doesn't matter if you're an investor or you're an end user.
Right.
You still have to make sure that you're reading your agreement, or if your lawyer is reviewing it, you double check with them that what are the development charges and if there is a cap on those charges or not. If they're not capped, you will have a very, very scary surprise on the day of closing, and you would have to come up with some funds right away.
Right.
And whether it's 4 years from now, for example, 4 to 5 years, we don't want you to be in that situation. So it's always advisable to make sure your development charges, your levies, whether it is in terms of the development or the utilities or whatever it's in the building, is capped. Whatever there's a cap, whether it's 10,000, 15,000, but there is an actual cap on it. So you're prepared from day one. This is the extra money you're looking at.
So Lashika, when it comes to pre-construction, there are three most important things which is very, very important. And those three things are location, location, location.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it, especially when it goes to pre-construction?
Yeah.
What are the important points which we have to consider as far as the location is concerned?
So two very important things. First is the transportation.
Right.
So your location will automatically become a good location, a prime location, if you have some sort of transportation, whether it's a GO station, whether it's a subway, a TTC, LRT. If you have something within a close proximity.
Right.
Now, I don't say walking distance, because let's say there's a subway and you say your building is like a 1 minute, 2 minute walk. How many buildings can be there at 2 minute walking distance, right?
Yes.
So we have to be practical about it. We have to keep coming out. But as long as you're in a 10, 15 minute walk to any transportation system, you're good.
And it's good actually, you can walk.
Right? Other than that, second very important thing is the educational institutions.
Oh, okay, yes.
See, we've seen the time in COVID, we've seen the time when everything literally stopped, and now we're coming out of it. And I think whatever happens, just like you and me would always want our kids to be well educated, I think everybody out there wants that. So these educational institutions, these colleges, universities, no matter what happens, will always prosper, will always be out there. So as long as you're investing in close proximity to any educational institution, you will never have a challenge of renting it out. You'll never have a challenge of selling it, because it's always in demand. From different countries, so many immigrants, so many people, not just students. I see many adults, many, people in different ages, different age group are coming to study, to upgrade themselves. And nowadays, if you look at the job sector, many companies are putting these requirements that you have to keep upgrading your knowledge in terms of getting your degree, doing one course or the another. So you always need these educational institutions.
Absolutely.
So if you are buying close to a GO station, a subway, or if you are close to a college, university, you have a good location.
Yeah. And I always talk about a funny thing about the location, because many times the clients, they come for a high-rise building which is like having 300-400 apartments, and they say, Raman, I like it, this is not a good location. And I always go and talk to them. I said, you know what, I understand you have 4 or 5 properties, I might have some of them too. But what do you think, if somebody is doing a business which is on the range of 3, 4, 500 million, what do you think about that person? I'm pretty sure that person is quite knowledgeable. That person is quite, has done a lot of research. Just imagine the location which I'm telling about a high-rise building is bad. Somebody invested $300-400 million there on the same location.
And they might have done a lot of research.
There you go.
They might have, studied the area. They might have done every possible research before buying that land, before putting that much amount of money. I am just buying one unit in there.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, Lashika, on the other side, I absolutely understand. it might be that location doesn't suit me.
That's why I was saying it's your comfort.
Absolutely.
Whether it's one, you're going to make money, whether it's Toronto, because someone or the other is buying it.
Yes.
Right? The building at the end of the day gets sold out within 2 days.
Yes.
So there is a lineup everywhere we go, but
Yeah.
it all depends where I feel more comfortable.
Yes. Now, Lashika, very, very, very important question, which is, I think many of the youngsters will correlate that to you. How old were you when you bought your first property?
Well, I was very, very young. Let's not go back to my age. Let's keep that a secret. But I was very, very young. I was actually just finishing my studies. I wasn't even a PR. Again, with help of my family. That's when I first invested in a property. And I think to every youngster out there, all students who come here on study permits, as soon as, I know international fees or fees of the university is a big responsibility, a big burden already. But as soon as you're done with it, you're moving on to the next chapter of life, which is getting into your work life.
Right.
You have a work permit, now you've achieved a good job. That's the time when we actually have to, start some good savings. And as soon as we have 20,000-30,000 saved up, we should get into something right away.
Right.
Because, waiting for the time when you have 100,000, 150,000 and you're going to actually purchase your first house, it's going to keep getting delayed. Because
Right.
the more you wait to get to that timeline, the prices are going up every day. So just start somewhere. Doesn't matter if you're going to go live there or not down the line, and that's the biggest advantage you have with pre-construction.
Right.
Right? You book something, whether it's a small townhouse, whether it's a little bit far away, 2 hours drive, 3 hours drive, it's a small 1-bedroom condo or even a studio.
Yeah.
At least you have something that you can call it's my own.
Yes.
Right? So you book it, you keep giving small payments towards it. There's so many different options. Sometimes you have monthly payment plans, sometimes you have low deposit structure options, or even if it's a regular deposit structure, you have 1.5-2 years to pay that.
That's right.
So push yourself towards it.
Yeah.
See, if you're in our comfort zone, we'll always be there.
Absolutely.
Right? Push yourself, do it, then you'll work towards those payments.
Yes.
Right? I know it's a big risk taking,
Yes.
but if we can't take risk as we're young, when are we going to take it, right?
When are we going
So invest in it so that by the time, it's been 3 years, 4 years, you then can actually sell it, use that money as your down payment,
Yeah.
and book yourself a nice house.
Yes.
And along with jobs, I think this is the way you want to work towards becoming a millionaire, billionaire, whatever your dream is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's quite possible just with our day-to-day jobs.
Absolutely. Lashika, it is such a vast topic, and I think we need to have another full episode on
Yeah.
more of the discussion so that our viewers can get a lot more information. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate sharing all the knowledge, all the information, and you're looking so beautiful today.
Thank you. No, you're very right. It's a very big topic, especially when we talk about students.
Yes.
I think there's a lot we can discuss about how students can make their way up, and we can really, I feel like, we can be some sort of help to those international students or even the local students, how they can make their career or how they can be well settled
Right.
in this country, because I also came as a student.
Yeah.
And as I said, with right guidance, I've made my way where I am today. So we can definitely touch base on that topic. And thank you so much for having me here on Real Talk with Raman.
Yeah.
And looking forward to it.
Isn't it great, guys? And you have seen how this young girl has found her way in the industry, where many youngsters, they are aspiring to come and join this wonderful profession which we call as real estate. In last 5 years, she has done more than 1,000 transactions, built up a very strong team, and she's also expanding her team. So if you want to become part of her team, especially if you're interested in pre-construction, come talk to Lashika and see how she's creating that success, not only for herself, but for others as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you can get notification when we put our next podcast over there. Thank you very much for joining us for today. Have a fantastic day ahead.